The general manager of Elm Ridge Funeral Home speaks out for the first time regarding missing items from gravestones. Coming up, what he had to say and the public's reaction.
Plus, the Muncie Central administrator is out and the district is in the hands of the Indiana Assembly. Tonight, the latest in the Muncie Community Schools drama.
Severe thunderstorms tonight, snow chances tomorrow. NewsLink Indiana starts now.
Live from the Ball State News Center, this is NewsLink Indiana in high definition.
Good evening and welcome to NewsLink Indiana. I'm Tony Sandleben.
And I'm Brittany Herman. Thanks for joining us.
Well, just a few days ago, Elm Ridge Funeral Home had their annual cleanup.
And many items have gone missing. NewsLink Indiana's Brittany Carlin has more on the story.
Elm Ridge Funeral Home goes through a process where they clean up all of their gravestones so that they can mow the lawn. This year, many families came out to claim their items here in this grass behind me, and they found items that are broken. They found brand new flowers in their dumpsters, and they even had items stolen that they saw pictures of days before.
I come out here every year, I put a flower in it, I water it every year, and it's gone.
Mark DeLong's lost statue is only one of the many things missing. Deja Ashcraft had to climb into a dumpster to get her 3-day-old flowers that she was told would not be taken down.
She had told me that my dad's flowers would be okay, that as long as they were still alive, that they would not mess with them.
Many people, including 7-year-old Callie Smith, spent hours going through all of the different items in the mud.
Slugs from head to toe on them, from digging them out of the mud.
This morning, General Manager at Elm Ridge Funeral Home, Jeff Bates, allowed the public to ask him questions.
How would you feel if your loved one was out here and everything that you paid money for and you put it on to come to find it in a pile broken?
He did eventually admit that it was his fault.
Yes or no?
Yes, it is.
Okay,
yes.
There we go.
He also explained why he cannot stop people from stealing items.
People that come here and pick the items up, I assume that they are picking up their items and they're not stealing items. I don't know what they're doing, and I don't approach them about it.
Although he cannot do anything about these missing items, he did take down some information from those still looking. In Muncie, Brittany Carlin, NewsLink Indiana.
Now, a petition has been made to stop the cemetery from removing items off loved ones' graves. All right, and meanwhile, Muncie Community Schools is inching closer to a government takeover. Today in the General Assembly, an amendment was proposed that would remove Muncie from Senate Bill 567, thus removing MCS from the possibility of a government takeover. However, despite testimony from various representatives in favor of the amendment failed. The House is scheduled to vote on the bill as a whole tomorrow.
And as the state government debates how to handle MCS locally, moves are being made. Today, the district announced that Muncie Central Athletic Director Suzanne Crump has been relieved of her duties. Crump has been reassigned to teach math at the Youth Opportunity Center. Taking her place as the contacts for the athletic department are athletic supervisor Tom Lyon and principal Christopher Walker. Crump had already been placed on a non-renewal list by the MCS school board in an effort to work through the current financial situation. The school board has indicated more administrative changes are likely to come. And now, Brittany, as the school board tries to sort through finances, one thing Muncie Central is looking towards is a little bit more awareness of some safety policies.
You're absolutely right, Tony. And Muncie Central High School held its annual Living Proof event tonight. Now, the goal to bring awareness to the severity of drinking and driving.
This is an annual event taking place in Alcohol Awareness Month. Over 100 volunteers came together to act out different scenes, including a mock fatal crash caused by a drunk driver. But most of the actors are real police officers, fire department personnel, and EMS staff, all coming together to discourage Muncie youth from drinking and driving. Bruce Qualls is chairman of the event. He says new aspects are added every year to keep people coming back. This year, a funeral scene was added. Qualls says it really makes an impact.
The idea that we are making an impact and making a difference is what keeps us going. Otherwise, you know, we just wouldn't continue to do this. But because we believe we are making a difference, we'll continue to do this for as long as we can.
The event was free and open to the public. Tours were given about every 10 minutes from 6 to 8 p.m. And 2 Muncie teenagers are facing up to 16 years in prison after being accused of robbing another teen at gunpoint. 17-year-old Hayden Emberton and 16-year-old Cody McGriff picked up the victim in McGriff's vehicle on March 22nd. The victim believed he was meeting McGriff and Emberton to buy a gun. Once in the car, Emberton allegedly threatened to shoot the victim and struck him twice in the head with the barrel of the gun. The victim was released after giving his assailants $40. Emberton and McGriff are being held at the Delaware County Jail under $30,000 bonds.
Well, the Student Government Association is working on a bill that could change the way some students get to campus. The Blue Loop bus extension bill that SGA Optic Slate ran with during their campaign is now being looked at by the Student Senate. NewsLink Indiana's Colton Letourneau has the story.
The Blue Loop extension bill was centered on a lot of what Optic heard around their campaign before winning the Student Government Association Executive Board slate. SGA President-elect Greg Carbo said the proposal of this bill is important to the students.
We just heard a lot of people saying, you know, the Blue Loop is something that's important to us and it's something that we would love to see go year-round. So an overall general description of what we're wanting to do is extend that Blue Loop. So instead of being from in January to the end of spring break, we're wanting to do it year-round.
Carbo and SGA are working on budgeting the cost and speaking with Transportation Services, Administration, and faculty. Passing the bill will not only show the university there's enough support behind the bill, but show students what SGA can do with their support.
And also show students that, you know, this is what the student government can do if we're given the ability to. You know, to show people that, you know, if you want to make a change on this campus, you can.
If the bill gets approved, running the Blue Loop bus all year round will come at a cost.
It's a very hard thing for them to estimate how much it's going to cost because they have no way of tracking it really, because each loop is a different mileage, each route has so many different factors that go into it. But they said that a rough estimate is about $2,000 a week to run a bus. So on average for the Blue Loop to run, it's about $2,000 a week for it to run.
The bill is currently trying to be passed through the Student Senate before making its way to the University Senate and Board of Trustees. In Muncie, Colton Letourneau, NewsLink, Indiana.
Well, I'm sure there were plenty of students that were really wanting that Blue Loop today. Lots of rain, lots of just drizzle and very wet outside. You know, hopefully it won't be around much longer.
Yeah, I have to agree with you, Tony. Hopefully we won't need that Blue Loop anymore because some beautiful weather is on its way. Please tell me I'm right, Kelsey.
Well, we do have some beautiful weather for this weekend, but we will have to have some rain ahead of that as we come in for the next few days. Right now, the rain is coming down on Ball State right now, so if you're outside, you will want to have an umbrella. If you're not, stay inside. Current temperatures are 47 degrees right now. Winds from the east-northeast at 25 miles per hour. Looking at our radar, we have the storms moving to the northeast, and we see those storms overhead of Muncie. These storms have had the history of producing 40-mile-per-hour winds. And looking at, we are in a slight enhanced risk for our local areas. We have strong winds, our primary threat, large hail, flash flooding, and isolated tornadoes. In my full weather, when I come back, I will tell you the timing of the severe storms, when we'll have snow chances, and more on our weekend forecast in my full weather forecast.
All right, thank you very much, Chelsea. Coming up after the break, a key White House official is off the National Security Council.
Plus, we'll take a look at how social media may help or hurt you after the break.
Oh! Checking your fantasy league?
Nah, just my 401k statement.
Nice. Where'd you find the money for that?
I've just been saving a little every month.
I can't seem to save anything.
Well, what about all this? What about the money you're spending?
What money? It's gone before I can get my hands on it.
I got a pizza for a Todd.
Hey, can somebody spot me?
When it comes to financial stability, don't get left behind.
It's 547.
Get tools and tips for saving at feedthepig.org.
So I've come up with a family emergency plan.
Great. What is it?
It's difficult to talk about, so I'm not telling you.
How will we know what to do?
You won't.
I'm so glad I won't have to remember anything.
And me too. Thanks for this, sweetie.
Talk to your kids about who to call, where to meet, what to pack. Visit ready.gov/kids for tips and information.
So, I just moved in with this family, and it's embarrassing. The little one, he likes to go outside and crawl around in the giant litter box. I don't know what he's doing. I mean, I was born and I knew how to use the litter box. Look at that! That's disgusting! Oh, poop already! You're making me nervous. Oh, okay, I can't look at this anymore. I really hope he grows out of this, for his sake.
Welcome back to NewsLink Indiana. President Donald Trump spoke at a news conference earlier today about the chemical attack against civilians, calling it heinous. The president says it changes the way he views Syrian leader Bashar al-Assad, and now that he has a responsibility that he carries very proudly.
It crossed a lot of lines for me. When you kill innocent children, innocent babies, little babies, with a chemical gas that is so lethal, people were shocked to hear what gas it was. That crosses many, many lines, beyond the red line, many, many lines.
U.S. Ambassador to the United Nations Nikki Haley addressed the UN earlier today and said, if the United Nations doesn't take action in Syria, then, quote, we may.
And Steve Bannon, President Trump's chief strategist, has been removed from the National Security Council. One source tells CNN that the decision was made by Trump himself. Senior Republicans noted that this was the first public diminishing of Bannon's power. One argued that Bannon was put on the council to ensure that it no longer micromanaged foreign policy. And another source says he was only on the council to oversee former National Security Advisor Michael Flynn's work to, quote, de-operationalize. A source with knowledge of the move said Bannon can still attend any meeting where his expertise is needed.
All right, and back to some local news. Social networking and enhancing your online profile were the topics of discussion during a presentation put on by the Career Center this afternoon. NewsLink Indiana's Ben Safarbi has that story.
The Department of Political Science and the Ball State Career Center sponsored The Pros and the Problems of Social Networking on the second floor of the North Quad building Wednesday afternoon. The presentation by Assistant Director of the Career Center, Samantha Martin, informed students in attendance how social networking can help your career prospects.
It allows you to connect with people from another state without physically being there. It allows you to showcase your personality, which is something that doesn't always come across on paper. And it also allows you to kind of articulate and demonstrate in a more interactive way your experiences.
Where social media can help in the hiring process, it can also harm.
If you are not aware of the professionalism that needs to be there, you can kind of misrepresent yourself. So there's a possibility that if you don't pay attention to what you post, you could do something that could hinder your job search.
The role of social media doesn't stop after you've found employment. It can play a part even after you're hired.
So you remember that you are a professional employee at a company, and anything you say actually represents the company at that point. And so the people that you add and follow, you want to be aware of their clients and how they might view the company based on what you're posting.
The most important social media platform may not be what you expect.
Overall, LinkedIn is the best resource for social media to showcase your experiences, make connections with Ball State alumni and potential employers, as well as keep track of all these connections that you're making.
In Muncie, Ben Safarbi, NewsLink Indiana.
Martin says that 92% of employers look at your social media. Therefore, she encourages everyone to be careful about what they post. And with that, Chelsea, what do we have coming up in weather?
Well, today we did reach a high in the 60s. We do have colder temperatures on the way for the next few days. When we return, I'll let you know when we'll see temperatures back up into the 60s.
Can you help me with this? My new dad teaches me all kinds of stuff.
Sure.
He helps me with homework.
That would be 3.6795.
Thanks.
Yep.
He helps me with my decision making.
I wouldn't use this one. Ever.
And he's even teaching me how to drive.
And that's why cars have bumpers.
I'm learning so much.
You don't have to be perfect to be a perfect parent. Thousands of kids in foster care will take you just as you are.
They're coming. Places, everybody.
Light check. 1, 2, 1, 2.
Everything looks good on our end.
And lights.
Come alive with the forest. Visit discovertheforest.org to find a forest near you.
Don't wait. Communicate. Make your emergency plan today.
Of all the things you've done with your bike, donating it to Goodwill may be the most incredible of all. Your donations help fund job placement and training for people in your community, which means your stuff can be more powerful than you think. Goodwill. Donate stuff, create jobs.
Welcome back to NewsLink Indiana. So guys, I have to say I'm not a fan of the rain. You said there's snow on the way. I mean, I'm ready for the sunshine.
Well, especially since, it's April and you're saying there's snow on the way. What can we expect for this coming week?
Well, snow, rain, and we'll have some sunshine on the way. So yes, it is April, it is spring, but do not worry. We do have some warmer temperatures on the way. But first, let's look at our radar. We still have these thunderstorms that are moving to the northwest across Indiana. Taking a closer look, we still have our heavy rain over Muncie right now. Our thunderstorm watch has been lifted. That was until 9 p.m. tonight. These storms have the history of producing 40-mile-per-hour winds, and then we have primary threats with these storms, and this will continue throughout the night. Damaging winds, hail, heavy rain, and lightning will be associated with storms. We cannot rule out any isolated tornadoes with these storms. Taking you hour by hour tonight, around 11 p.m., we'll continue having our storms to weaken, but we still have the rain that will continue throughout the evening. And for our overnight low tonight, we'll have a low of 38, thunderstorm chances, and our winds from the east at 10 miles per hour. For tomorrow, you will want your umbrella and a heavy coat because temperatures will only be reaching into the upper to lower 40s. We'll have snow chances for your morning commute, waking up, turning into rain for the afternoon hours, and then back down to snow in your evening hours. We'll reach a high tomorrow of 41. We will be in a wind advisory. Winds will be from the northwest from 20 to 30 miles per hour with the snow and rain and strong winds could be reducing your visibility, so please be careful if you're driving outside. In our weekend forecast, we have plenty of sunshine. Temperatures in the 60s on Saturday, 71. It'll be a great break from the rain, so make sure you get out inside and enjoy the weather. In our 7-day forecast, we will have 41 for tomorrow with the winds and rain throughout the day. Morning rain for Friday with a high of 47 in the 60s and 70s for this weekend. We do have chances for the start of next week. Temperatures will stay in the 70s for Monday and then starting to cool back down to the lower 60s by the middle of next week.
So it truly is classic Indiana. We are looking at chances of snow and then sunny and 70 on Sunday.
Yep, it keeps changing, but luckily we're going to continue seeing those warmer weathers for this weekend.
Okay, perfect. Sounds great. All right, Josh, so what can we expect in sports?
Well, we have a Muncie native making his way back to the Mid-American Conference, but before we get to that, we will talk about the recent tournament success in the women's golf and Ball State's softball domination of opponents. All of this when we come back to NewsLink Indiana.
Here's to the things that can keep us safe. Those we use all the time with hardly a thought. Those that are silently standing by to save our lives. And now, those that we carry with us everywhere we go. Many mobile devices will now bring you wireless emergency alerts, real-time information directly from local sources you know and trust. With the unique sound and vibration, you'll be in the know wherever you are.
Cook foods to the right temperature using a food thermometer. 3,000 Americans will die from food poisoning this year. Keep your family safer. Check your steps at foodsafety.gov.
So, I got this new family, and I don't know what it is about this one, but she can't seem to put down that toy all day long. Tap, 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 tap. Oh, and she even talks to it. She talks to that more than she talks to him. What's up, bro? Nice shirt. Who's she talking to? Her mom? She talks to her mom a lot.
You wanted to be a teacher when you were little, but things changed. Teaching didn't seem that cool anymore, so you decided to become something else. But what would your 12-year-old self say? Amazing things are happening in teaching, so it's time to put it back on your list. Don't try to convince yourself otherwise. You had it right the first time.
This is NewsLink Indiana Sports, presented by The Haven.
And welcome back to NewsLink Indiana. I'm Josh Shelton with your sports news. With the Masters tournament coming up, it's only fair we talk golf. Ball State's women's golf team has started to figure things out after a roller coaster season. The Cardinals placed first in their last two tournaments. NewsLink Indiana's Rachel Rusnak caught up with the team to discuss their recent success.
We've had a number of players shoot low scores and basically lead us. So every tournament seems like it's somebody different taking the reins and leading the way, and while her teammates are not far behind. So there's been a lot of depth, and we have a lot of players who can go low and who have gone low recently. They work hard, they've worked very focused, and we've made some strides, and they've made some strides individually in their games, and it's a lot of hard work that's gotten them and us to where we are now.
Coach talked about how this last tournament will require more than just skill. What it comes down to is good old-fashioned fun and positivity.
What I'm doing well might not be the same as someone else, so we know kind of what to work on and structure things differently for each other. So I think that's something that's been consistent and good for us as a team.
The women's golf team has 2 more events before the Mid-American Conference Invitational. I'm Rachel Rusnak in Muncie for NewsLink Indiana.
Thanks, Rachel. And over on the softball diamond, Ball State's softball team has been on a hot streak, winning their last 6 games. Those 6 wins have propelled the Cardinals into first place overall in the MAC. The most recent of those wins were come-from-behind victories against conference rival Northern Illinois. But Ball State's biggest test will be this weekend as they take on Ohio University, who is tied for second in the MAC. While the walk-offs have gotten a lot of attention, the real key to the Cardinals' success is pitching. They've won 12 of their last 13 games, and in those 12 wins, the pitching staff has allowed an average of less than 2 runs per game.
So the pitching staff, I think, has probably let, the defense flourish a little bit, and honestly has just given the offense a lot of room to work this season and have some nice mojo and confidence when they get up to the plate, not feeling like you have to hit 3 home runs and want it bad every time you get up, or we can't squeak out a win. So I just think it's the pitching staff being tough is kind of, I think, just bled into everything else we've done.
Danville baseball might have been rained out, but John Gross, a former 3-year basketball starter at Danville, is Akron's new men's basketball head coach. Gross was born in Muncie and has experience coaching in the Mid-American Conference, as he served the head coach position at Ohio University from 2008 to 2012. As coach of the Bobcats men's basketball team, Gross led Ohio to 2 MAC championships in 2010 and 2012. And in 2012, he led the team to the Sweet 16, the furthest the program has ever been since 1964. Following the 2012 season, Gross was hired at the University of Illinois, where he finished with an overall record of 95-75. And congratulations to Coach Gross. We hope to see him in the MAC tournament and maybe see him play some Ball State basketball.
Yeah, it's really cool to see a Muncie, somebody from around town getting in big time, not only as a career, but also in the MACs, probably still with some Ball State ties.
Right. He's back to the MAC conference, so he has some experience here, so he should be pretty much set for that Akron role.
Yeah, is Ball State going to make the MAC tournament this year?
I think they will. The coach has been doing his job down there, so if we can just bring up some of those young guys, I think that'll be, maybe we'll see an Akron Ball State championship game.
All right.
All right, Josh, well, thank you very much. Coming up on entertainment, find out what has one popular soft drink company apologizing to the public.
All right, and a big name performer is making a return to her roots. All this and more after the break.
Hey, did you know 2.4 million loving cats and dogs in shelters and rescues need our help to find a home? Let's go to the shelterpetproject.org and meet a few who are in a shelter near you. Harlow, oh, she's one great listener who loves to hear all your stories. My kind of cat. Cerulo is a sweet, goofy boy who's eager to please. Sounds just like another dog I know. So go to the shelterpetproject.org, search your local shelters and rescues, and go for a cuddle with your next best friend. Adopt.
Sure, I look cute now, but when my owner lost his job, it was rough. I was living on the street, and one night, me and this Cocker Spaniel got into it so bad, I wound up looking like an ice cream cone. I cried a little bit, but thankfully I got rescued, so I'm running, I'm jumping, all back to my old self, and I'm ready to give unconditional love, even if you put a lampshade on my head.
There's one thing you can never have sex without.
It's not something you buy.
Or something you take.
In fact, there's only one way to get it.
It has to be given to you, freely.
It's consent.
Because sex without it isn't sex.
It's rape. Consent.
If you don't get it, you don't get it. It's on us to stop sexual assault.
Learn how and take the pledge at itsonus.org.
What's up, guys? I'm Katie Parker with everything happening in the entertainment industry today. First up, Pepsi has released a public apology for a controversial advertisement. The ad caused an outrage because of the footage depicted scenes from the Black Lives Matter movement. It said that the advertisement downplayed the protests against the killings of black people by police. The company stated Wednesday morning that, quote, Pepsi was trying to project a global message of unity, peace, and understanding. Clearly, we missed the mark and apologize. Kendall Jenner, the star of the ad, has remained silent throughout the criticism, but a close source said she won't brush it under the rug. Next up, the Ball State Theater and Dance Department has put together a classic childhood play with a twist. Shrek the Musical opened Friday evening for members of the Ball State and Muncie community. The play is based on the popular DreamWorks animation film Shrek. It follows a swamp ogre on his journey to regain his property, with musical numbers in between. Shrek the Musical will run from now until April 9th. It costs $18 for the general public, $15 for students, staff, faculty, and seniors, and $10 for children 12 years and under. You can purchase tickets from the Emmons box office online or at 765-285-8749. And last up, oh baby, it looks like Britney Spears is stepping back into the Disney spotlight. Since her last gig as a Mouseketeer on the Mickey Mouse Club 23 years ago, Spears is about to make a return at the 2017 Radio Disney Music Awards. The artist will receive the first ever Icon Award. The honor was made to recognize a distinguished artist whose music is loved by generations of Radio Disney fans. You can watch the award show when it airs Sunday, April 30th at 7 p.m. on Disney Channel. And that's all I've got for you guys in entertainment tonight. Back to you.
All right, thanks, Katie. Now let's take one last look at weather.
Well, we're going to have snow chances for tomorrow morning on Thursday, windy conditions, then rain throughout the day, high at 41, 47 for Friday, and then to the 60s and 70s for Saturday and Sunday, and then rain chances back on Monday and Tuesday of next week.
All right, well, thank you very much, Chelsea. That's all tonight for NewsLink Indiana. Be sure to watch tomorrow night at 9 right here on Cardinal Vision or online at ballstatedaily.com.
And be sure to like us on Facebook and follow us on Twitter. Have a great night.